Let's go over potential spoilers for Star Wars Episode 9. This is Mike Zero here. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, today's potential spoilers actually come from a user, which by the way will be linked below in the description. Go ahead and check it out, who claims to have seen early storyboards of the final film in the sequel trilogy. Now, 2 years ago, the same exact poster got to see the early storyboards for Star Wars The Last Jedi. Many of the points that he listed were indeed correct, so it's worth talking about. But do be warned here, take this with a pinch of salt as well, but these could also very well be potential spoilers, so just be warned. Let's get right into it. All links will be provided below in the description, including the one for Star Wars Episode 9 of him seeing the early storyboards, as well as the post from 2 years ago about The Last Jedi, which I will read at later in this video. So let's go right over this. So in the very beginning, he says, "I know this place gets a million fake leaks a month, so I understand the skepticism and the reception I got 2 years ago when I shared the early storyboard for Star Wars Episode 8. I was hesitant to come forward this early, but the overnight 4chan leak surfacing, which is legit, I figured I'd come forward so people can protect others who do not want to be spoiled. Before you go on, if you don't remember me from 2 years ago, and you're already ready to call BS and read what I have to say somewhat recklessly, I ask that you visit my thread from 2 years ago, which, by the way, will be linked below in the description." He goes on to say, "If you're still here, just know that the big plot points of 9 will probably be spoiled for you if you continue reading this. Plot A would progress like this. 5 years after The Last Jedi, Resistance is no longer centralized and is not a popular idea among the galaxy. Kylo Ren's rule over the galaxy is seen by most as benevolent. Many within the Resistance itself are questioning why they should even be fighting. Not surprisingly, Rey, Poe, Finn, and Leia are all still holding fast to the idea the galaxy should not be under Imperial rule, the First Order. The tip leads them to a planet in the unknown regions, and they must infiltrate a First Order command station to extract a young female alien prodigy who is the key to navigating these regions." Now, let me stop right there for a second. We do know as of right now that Disney and Lucasfilm are casting for 2 female leads. Just want to point that out. So he goes on to say, "After a successful rescue of the girl, who is essentially a prisoner of the First Order, they discover a planet entirely comprised of an ocean. Beneath the waters, it's the secret of the First Order's unlimited resources, an ancient manufacturing station literally powered by the population of conquered worlds of the unknown regions. This entire plot A revolves around liberating the captives before they are exterminated and exposing these horrors to the galaxy at large. This plot is resolved with the unknown regions becoming united and preparing for war with the known regions." Goes on to state, "The B plot revolves around Kylo Ren hunting down other Force users in secret, using the Knights of Ren and trying to discover the mole among his ranks. At the end of the film, it's revealed Hux is the mole and is trying to get the galaxy to revolt against Ren's empire and believes he can claim the throne after the fallout." Now let me stop right there for a second, because we do know that as of right now, Disney and Lucasfilm are casting a group of 6 male actors in their 20s to work with Adam Driver, so that could very well be the Knights of Ren, and apparently to this post, the Knights of Ren will be a major part of the overall plot for Episode 9 of hunting down Force sensitives along with Kylo Ren. So moving on to the last piece here is interesting stuff. I'm not quite sure what to make of this, but here it goes. So this is what it has to say. "Many Force users have sought out Rey for protection, both really young and really old. Rey and Kylo still converse through the Force and can even manifest their whole presence in front of each other. It is slowly revealed they secretly love each other. The big reveal in the film is that one of Rey's students is actually her child, and Kylo becomes so enraged upon finding this that he nearly kills Rey, who was only saved last minute by Leia. As with the last time, I will add the disclaimer that this is an early storyboard, but the heart of the film is there, with secret love child and the theme of an empire thriving, but at a terrible cost. You can expect the story to play out very close to this. Interesting stuff. I'm not quite sure what to make of all of this, guys. Some of it sounds completely insane, and some of it actually seems quite practical. But this is a post from 2 years ago that he spoke about The Last Jedi, and let's get into that right now. So he states, Plot A would progress in this order. Luke tells Rey what happened during the fall of his academy. Kylo Ren is growing in power. He possesses a skill for manipulating the Force that has never been seen. Snoke senses this and aims to replace Kylo with Rey and plans to use Kylo to do it. Luke trains Rey in the ways of the Force. Rey confronts the spiritual test of the darkness within herself. Kylo murders Snoke. Having known all along Snoke was aiming to replace him before he grew powerful enough to overtake him, and declares himself ruler of the First Order. There is a slight rift among the troopers in whether they will follow Kylo or Hux. Rey leaves against Luke's wishes to confront Kylo. The B-plot of the story is what drives her out. Now let me stop right there for a second. Remember that this post is from 2 years ago, right around when Rogue One, a Star Wars story, was in theaters. He goes on to say, Kylo Ren and Rey fight again. There is an underlying sense of attraction between the two. Kylo Ren is much, much stronger than he was in the last fight. He beats Rey and reveals he spared her life in the Temple Purge and left her on Jakku. He again beckons her to join him. This time, the result of that offer is left up in the air. Now, once again, guys, he's explaining the early storyboards of Star Wars The Last Jedi from 2 years ago. You can see that there are some early concepts embedded in here, some of which actually add right up to what we saw in the actual Last Jedi motion picture. Moving on. Goes on to say, Plot B progresses in this matter. Captain Phasma has placed a substantial bounty on Finn's head. She and Hux are relentlessly searching the galaxy for the Resistance. They find the Resistance base and decimate it with an impressive land assault. So that's obviously Dakar in the very beginning. Finn and Poe meet a refugee, and the three of them spend most of the story evading bounty hunters and the First Order. Finn falls for the refugee head over heels. On a planet that's essentially the Las Vegas of the galaxy, the refugee turns on Finn and Poe and collects the bounty on their heads. Now let me stop right there for a second again, because that makes sense, because originally Rian Johnson had both Finn and Poe going to Canto Bight to seek out the mysterious DJ, but later replaced Poe with Rose. Moving on. So it goes on to state, Finn manages an escape, but Poe is captured and sent to what is essentially maximum security for the First Order. That's the first treatment. Other tidbits include the mention that the galaxy is absolutely war-torn right now, with no leadership and many systems just tending for themselves. Del Toro will play a bounty hunter. Luke refuses to join the fight on either side. This upsets Leia. Kylo Ren will kill an officer for mentioning the scar on his face. Again, early treatment, but expect it to unfold fairly close. Now that's what he wrote 2 years before The Last Jedi ever released. You can see that some of the things do indeed add up to what we saw. Once again though, guys, with the episode 9 side of things, once again, take it with a pinch of salt, potential spoilers, interesting stuff. Some of it sounds very crazy to me and somewhat like, I don't know, not all that interesting, but some of it actually really is pretty cool. Now, if they do decide to do the whole love child thing, exactly who got involved with Rey and had a kid with her? That is something that I want to find out once the movie comes out. Is it Kylo Ren? Apparently Kylo is the father from this post, and if that is to be true, at least the Skywalker Solo legacy will live on. Now, he goes on to say in other posts, which I will include below in the description, that that whole entire trilogy format will be abandoned. So episode 9 apparently won't conclude the arc of Kylo Ren and Rey, and that there very well may even be an episode 10 that concludes it all. But anyways, guys, take this all with a pinch of salt. Drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all this. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.